Tenet! Tenet is a new film to be written and directed by Christopher Nolan. Christopher Nolan, who's directed some of my favourite films of the past 20 years. Prestige, The Dark Knight trilogy, Inception, and Dunkirk. Some of the best films and some of my favourite films over the past 20 years. And actually, I was quite excited for this film. And also, this is a new film to be released after the whole pandemic period. The last new film I reviewed on this channel was the Disney Pixar film Onward. So actually, I was quite excited to see a new film at the cinema after all this pandemic. Don't get me wrong, I've been to the cinema recently. I've even seen a Christopher Nolan film at the cinema recently. I saw Inception at the cinema recently, which was an amazing experience. But going to watch a new film at the cinema was just... yeah, I was so excited. And also the fact that it was a new Christopher Nolan film at the cinema got me even more excited. You know, the fact that I got to see a new film at the cinema again just was like excitement. My excitement levels were like really, really high. But the fact that it was a new Christopher Nolan film was like the cherry on the ice and the cake. It's just like, yes! Anyway, so naturally you might guess I was quite excited for this film. And also the trailer for the film, in my opinion, looked absolutely fantastic. And this film has a really good cast, in my opinion, with the cast of the film being John David Washington as the protagonist film. That's literally how it's credited in the film. The protagonist, we never hear his name throughout the whole film. The film stars Robert Pattinson, Elizabeth Debicki, Himesh Patel, Dimple Kapadia, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Kenneth Branagh, and the one and only Michael Caine. Michael Caine, who seems to be in all of Christopher Nolan films. He's even got a little role in Dunkirk. Don't know if many people know that. But anyway, basically, the plot of this film. Well, I'm not going to explain the plot of this film. If anyone's seen the trailer, you might get good ideas. All to do with time. All of Christopher Nolan films have something to do with time. You know, Dunkirk has the 3 different time frames going on. Inception, when you go into a deeper dream, your time frames start to change. And you know, all of these films have something to do with time. And basically, this film, the main you know, plot threads of the film are to do with time. I'm not going to explain the plot of this film though, because I think this is Christopher Nolan's most complicated movie he has ever made. I don't necessarily mean that in a bad way, because I do think this film is the most unique and most distinctive Christopher Nolan film that he's ever made. But I also think it's the most complicated film he's ever made, and I'm going to talk about that again a bit later. Another reason I'm not going to explain the plot of this film in this video, because it's one of those films, I think, when I think Christopher Nolan tells the story best in this film. I really do. I feel it's one of those films where you have to watch the story take place in the film, and instead of someone trying to explain it, you have to kind of watch it the way Christopher Nolan intended this story to play out on the big screen. By the way, side note, this is one of the films I think you really need to see on the big screen if you are going to, if you are interested in watching this film. I think you really need to see on the big screen, because what Christopher Nolan does in all of his films, you know, no matter whether you like it or not, he always has incredible cinematography and incredible visuals. And this film is no different. The visuals in this film are honestly quite incredible. You know, like, the whole thing with reversing time in this film, the whole way, like, we see like literal explosions and fight scenes and things like that, like reversing this in this film is just, it's quite incredible to watch. Going back to the plot of this film, I think it's the most complicated Christopher Nolan film he has ever made. Honestly, I really do. I think it's also the most unique film he's ever made. I don't think there's ever been a film like this, and I don't think there ever will. It's honestly so incredibly well made, but at the same time, so incredibly complicated. One part of me is saying that's a really good thing, and another part of me is saying that is not so much a good thing. Part of me that's thinking this is a fantastic, you know, the fact that it's so complicated is actually a fantastic thing, is this is a film which challenges the viewer. If you're going into the film, you know, just as a general viewer thinking, oh, it's going to be just this blockbuster, you know, action sequences, explosions, yay, it's going to be great, I'm afraid you're going to be disappointed and relatively confused through the course of this film. I think if you're going to the film, knowing it's a Christopher Nolan film, looking at the trailer and realising, yes, this is going to be quite a complicated film, then I feel that, you know, your expectations will be made. I feel this is a film, you know, if you're a Christopher Nolan fan especially, you'll enjoy this film quite a lot. And that's one of the reasons I think having such a complicated film was a good idea. This is a film which challenges its audience, it challenges its viewer, and that's why I like it so much. It's similar to Inception in the way that you can watch, you know, Inception time and time again and still find out new details, new plot details and new little details throughout the whole of the film, you know, indicating what's happening. That's the same I think with Tenet. This whole idea that you can watch the film over and over again and you can just pick up new details after new details on every single watch through. And I've only seen this film once, and it's really, really confusing, but I cannot wait to watch this film a second time. I'm so intrigued to watch it a second time, because maybe I'll understand the plot more, yeah, on a second time, but also I'll start to pick up more details and pick up new information and everything, things that I didn't see the first time. And that's what I love about Christopher Nolan's films. They're films that you can watch over and over again, and not films that you can watch once. Like, so many blockbusters nowadays, you know, like Marvel films, and even the most recent Star Wars films, which I was a huge fan of, which, in my opinion, are only really, you know, made to be watched once, and then when you watch them time and time again after, you start to know it's just, oh my god, you know, these films are actually quite chunky, have quite a lot of problems, and, you know, script problems and just, you know, production problems in it. Whilst with Christopher Nolan films, these are films which I feel are designed to be watched time and time and time again, and that's what I feel like Tenet is. I can't wait to watch this film a second time. I can't wait to watch it a third or fourth time, because I know I'm going to pick up new information each time I watch this film, and also I might even like the film more, you know, a second or third time. But on a downside, the whole complicated aspect of this film can also be seen as a bad thing, because when you're watching this film the first time, you might really be confused about the film. And, you know, that isn't always the best feeling. I must admit, when I watched this film today, I was really confused in quite a lot of scenes. You have these clever twists in the film, and then have like an exposition scene after, which explains the twist. But sometimes that exposition scene goes by so quick and gives you so much information that you're just like, can you say that again? Because there's so much information thrown into you once, and so much complex information as well, that sometimes it's hard to collect all in one. So the complicated aspect is a bad thing, because, you know, it confuses you so much, but then at the same time it's also a good thing, because it means it's one of those films you can watch time and time again. And by the way, going back to the twists of this film, I think the twists of the film are really clever. You know, the classic Christopher Nolan twists. Honestly, the twists in this film reminded me of some of the twists in early Christopher Nolan films. And when also twists take place in this film, what I love about the twists is when you add small scenes after explaining those twists, small exposition scenes after explaining those twists. Like, nowadays in films, you might get twists, you might get really interesting twists that are done really well. And you might get a character or a scene explaining that twist, which literally goes on for like 10-15 minutes, and then you just get bored of the twist, and it's just being like, yeah, no, I'm not so interested in the twist. The thing with Christopher Nolan, and the thing that he does in all these films, and does in this film especially, which I remember quite a bit in this film, was the fact that he would do these twists, you know, just small twists in the film. You might have a small exposition scene, and then you might have a small scene explaining the twist after, like a small exposition scene. I can't pronounce that word today for some reason. Exposition. There we go. Again, you might get a small exposition scene explaining that twist after, but it's only a small scene, and I love that you only get that small scene and not just an overlong, exaggerated scene explaining the twist, and I think that works really well in the film. Anyway, going off the plot for a few minutes now, I'm going to talk about the other elements of the film. First of all, the action sequences of the film are, you know, incredibly well shot. This is a Christopher Nolan film, and he directs incredible action sequences in my opinion. The action sequences in the final act of the film are like classic Christopher Nolan action sequences. They honestly are. I was watching the final act of the film and I was thinking, yeah, this is classic Christopher Nolan, and I loved it. I loved the final act of the film so much, and the fact that you actually had these reverse action shots as well was absolutely incredible. There's a fight scene with John David Washington's character, the protagonist, as he is actually credited in this film. There's a fight scene with him earlier in the film, but he's fighting someone who's fighting him from the past. So that person from the past is fighting him, and he's fighting that person from the present, and that's a really well shot action sequence. But in the first two acts of the film, there are action sequences, really good action sequences, but not your classic Christopher Nolan action sequences. Like, these are sequences which you wouldn't have seen in Christopher Nolan films back during the Dark Knight. You went back when he did the Dark Knight trilogy. There's one to do with a plane, even referred to in the trailer. It's like, you want to crash a plane? Well, don't be so dramatic. It's just like, how big of a plane? Okay, that part's a little dramatic. The plane sequence in the film is a really good action sequence, but it's not your typical Christopher Nolan action sequence, and in a way, I think it worked really well in the film. And also, there's a action sequence in the second act of the film on a motorway, which again was in the trailer, and that again isn't your typical Christopher Nolan action sequence, and they're really well shot, but at the same time really realistic. And, you know, these are action sequences I didn't expect to see in this film, and at the same time they're nevertheless just as entertaining. They really are. I was entertained fully in all the action sequences in the film, and the special effects in the film. I watched an interview when he said he didn't really use, you know, green screen special effects, although he has used green screen special effects before. You know, his films actually won Oscars for visual effects before, and I might be wrong here, but I don't think he actually used any green screen visual effects in the film, and it's incredible that. Honestly, watching the film, the visual effects in the film, the whole reversing, you have like these reverse action sequences are so incredible to watch, and the way Christopher Nolan shoots these scenes in the final act of the film, I don't know how he did it. It's a piece of filmmaking. It's astounding to watch, and I don't know how he did it, but it's incredible to watch. It really is. And then we go on to the performance of the film. I think John David Washington is absolutely fantastic as the protagonist of the film. That is quite literally his name in the film. Honestly, he's absolutely fantastic in the film. He has so much charisma, so much energy, and he brings even a bit of humour to the role. Also, Robert Pattinson is absolutely fantastic in the film. And by the way, what about that new Batman trailer? Honestly, I'm so excited to see that new Batman film in 2021. I can't wait to see Robert Pattinson's interpretation as the Batman in that film. It looks incredible, that film. But anyway, going back to Tenet, Robert Pattinson is absolutely fantastic in the film, giving off a very, again, a charismatic and energetic performance that I really liked. Also, Elizabeth Debicki is fantastic in the film, and she gives off a really good performance. And her character kind of brings the heart of the film. Now, before I watched this film, I read a bit of criticism online, basically, and that this film doesn't have enough heart. It lacks in heart. And I think this film has a really strong heart, actually, and that's brought by Elizabeth Debicki's character, because she just wants to protect her son from everything going on around her, you know, almost an end of the world situation. She wants to protect her son as well from Kenneth Branagh's character, who she's in an abusive relationship with, and that heart of the film, it's there, and it carries on through the whole of the film. It's clear, and I like that aspect of it. I think Elizabeth Debicki's performance was absolutely fantastic, and by the way, she plays a character that, like I said, is in a relationship with Kenneth Branagh's character. And one of the things the film does so well, which I didn't expect, because when introducing the film, I just thought, oh, it's going to be one of those relationships in the film, which isn't that believable, just in it for the sake of the film. And actually, their relationship together was actually quite believable in the film, which I didn't expect. And Kenneth Branagh in the film is absolutely fantastic. This is my new favourite Kenneth Branagh performance. He plays this evil, cynical Russian character, and he is absolutely fantastic in the film. Honestly, Kenneth Branagh, this is my new favourite Kenneth Branagh performance. He's fantastic in the film. Honestly, there's one scene of him in the second act is just wow, watching him in the yeah, he's fantastic in the film. And also everyone else again in the film, Himesh Patel is even fantastic in the film. And you know, it was nice to see Michael Caine in there. He's in all the Christopher Nolan films. It was just, oh, Michael Caine. Anyway, also this film has a very, very good score from Ludwig Göransson. I might be pronouncing the name wrong. Apologies if I am. He's the person who scored the music for The Mandalorian. But you wouldn't guess he scored the music for this film. This film still has a very, like, Hans Zimmer score. And it works really well in the film, in my opinion. I thought the score for the film was absolutely fantastic, and Ludwig Göransson did an absolutely fantastic job scoring this film. And I think this film is incredibly well made. It's a Christopher Nolan film, and you can tell. It has a lot of incredible cinematography, incredible shots just to look at and think, wow! And yeah, it's the performance of everyone absolutely fantastic. Everyone's on their A game, everyone's bringing their A game because, well, it's a Christopher Nolan film, and you really feel that. There are a lot of scenes in the film which are really riveting and really well done. I must admit though, there are some weak moments in the film which I'm going to talk about more in my second review of the film, which I'm going to do an in-depth review. Sadly though, I won't get around to doing a second review of this film for a while because I'm going on holiday next week. But when I do get back from holiday, I'm going to watch this film again, and I'm going to give my full in-depth, you know, spoiler review when I do come back from holiday. For now, sadly, I've only watched the film once, but going back to, you know, it's still an incredibly well-made film. It's just very, very complicated. Like, I haven't talked about the plot much in this review, because I didn't fully understand it. Hopefully on a second viewing, I will. Hopefully on a second viewing, I'll come out of this film thinking, oh, yeah, now I get it a lot more. Anytime I'm thinking about this film at the moment, this hurts my brain and actually gives me a headache. And not necessarily in a bad way, because I actually thinking about this, I actually like thinking about this film quite a lot. I like thinking about the aspects of the film, but I'm like, well, how did we get to that? And I actually like thinking about films like that. Annoyingly though, it gives me a bit of a headache because there's so much to think about in this film. Again, I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing though, because in a way, yes, having such a confusing film is a bad thing, but also I like to think on the good side of everything. I always like to think on the light-hearted side of everything, and in this case, I'm going to think that, you know, because it's such a confusing film, I'm actually so excited to watch it, you know, and again and again and again. I can't do that many movie blockbusters nowadays. You know, this film has like a $250 million budget. That is a blockbuster film budget. Any blockbuster film is made nowadays, you can only really watch like once or maybe twice at most, and then you start noticing problems with it. Whilst that isn't the case with Christopher Nolan films, and especially not this film. Don't get me wrong, this film has small continuity errors, which, as somebody who studies film, I noticed small continuity errors. Like, there's even one scene in the film where Kenneth Branagh's character throws a pillow at Elizabeth Debicki's character, and the pillow goes off the side of the bed. Then in the next shot, the pillow's on the top of the bed, and it's just like, okay, how did that happen? But I still think the film is still well edited, considering it was a new person stepping into the shoes of editing the film. All Christopher Nolan films before this have all been edited by a certain person, because, oh my god, all the Christopher Nolan films before this are incredibly well edited. So, stepping into the shoes and editing a Christopher Nolan film, you know, your first time, it's going to be quite daunting. The editing was really good in my opinion, just some small continuity errors, But apart from that, I thought the editing was really, really good. Christopher Nolan, yet again, did an absolutely fantastic job directing this film. I think it's a great film. I think on a second viewing, he will have a more, I understand this film a lot more. And for now, I'm only going to go off what I've had with one viewing. But still, I thought it was fantastic to watch. And unlike any film I've ever seen before, and I doubt it'd be like any film I ever watch after this, it was incredible to watch. Just very, very confusing. And so for now, I'm going to give this film a general rating. I'm just going to say it's an 8 out of 10. I think this film's great. It's really, really well made. It's the honesty, the whole reverse and the action sequence in the film, the reverse fight sequence that I talked to John David Washington's character, the protagonist, is absolutely fantastic. And people were criticizing about the characterization of the film. I thought the characters were really, really good in this film. Quite a lot down to performances, but in the end, the performances are part of the film, and they worked really, really well. I was really interested in the characters of the film, and ultimately, I think this film is actually fantastic. Not the best Christopher Nolan film, but bear in mind, I am comparing this film to, the Dark Knight trilogy, The Prestige, and Inception, some of my favourite films I've ever seen. But for now, after only watching this film once, I still thought this film was very, very good. This is one of those films which challenges its viewer. Ultimately, it's a Christopher Nolan film that I think Christopher Nolan fans are going to like very, very much. And for that reason, on a general rating right now, although I will give a specific rating when I do my second review of this film, my spoiler review of the film, now, on a general rating, I'm going to give this film a 8 out of 10. It's a Christopher Nolan film for Christopher Nolan fans, and that is why I liked it. And I hope on my second viewing, I'm even going to love it. But all in all, for now, after only watching the film once, I'm going to give this film an 8 out of 10 from me. Anyway guys, what do you think of Tenet? Did you love it, to hate it? Or you were like me and you're just really, really confused by this film? Or have you seen this film twice now and you understood it and you like it more? Please do comment below and know your thoughts in the comment section below. Honestly, I'm really intrigued to hear people's thoughts on the film. Have you seen this film twice now and you're one of those people that absolutely love it? Or have you seen this film once like me and you're going to go watch this film a second time and you're really excited to and you haven't really understood the film yet? Please do comment below and let me know your thoughts. I am honestly really intrigued and really, excited to hear other people's thoughts on this film. So please do comment below and let me know, because boy, this is a confusing film, and just reviewing the film itself, I mean, I've tried my best, but it's hurt my head quite a bit. I think I get a bit of a headache coming on. But anyway, guys, thank you as always for watching, and if you haven't yet, please do click down below and like, subscribe on this video, and look forward to many more, both film and TV reviews coming very, very soon on this channel. See you guys again soon, but bye for now. Bye.